Yeah, so my name is Bisola Alabi, and I'm the founder of Use and Tech. Use and Tech was founded to close the gender gap between women and technology. And we've been doing this for the past 3 years. And over the years, we realized that a lot of fashion designers, entrepreneurs have taken our courses, and a lot of them have actually migrated to other countries. Not because they are tired of the work, we probably positioning themselves, to the global standard, right, and expose themselves to the global industry. That's just basically what we realized. I was recently endorsed by the Global Talents UK, right? And I did not plan to hold a session because if you go to YouTube, there's like a lot of information already. So I did not think it was important for me to hold a session. But as soon as I was endorsed, I shared the information with a dear friend who is in the fashion industry. And guess what? In less than 3 months, she was able to get endorsed. Right. And I think this is a big deal because it's quite cheaper compared to moving through study, which a lot of Nigerians do. That's number one. Then number two, the global talent visa is a tier one visa. Tier one visa means that you can move in and move out of the country. You don't necessarily have to, move your families immediately. Number two, you can set up a business. That's the advantage. Number three, you can you can send your kids to school. Your spouse can move. You understand? Like you are free to do anything you want to do. That's what some of the advantages I've seen. I have the endorsements. I've had it like some months back, but I've not moved. I'm still in Nigeria. Yeah, so I feel that everyone should take advantage of it. Um, I would be talking a little bit about my experience. Before I founded Use and Tech, okay, so over some years back, I started my career in technology, right? So just like every woman, I decided to pause my career and attend to my family, right? And so what I did was rather than stay at home, which a lot of women do, I created a fashion business. And what I was doing, I was selling Hashoke. So I'm sharing this story because we tend to underestimate the our kind of business, what we do, her impact. So for some people, they can just see it as, oh, she's selling Ashoke. She's selling Ashoke because it's local people that sell Ashoke, right? Local people in the market that sell Ashoke, except for few people in the industry who are doing exceptionally well, right? Right. They go to like there's Shadia, for instance. Like there are so many people who are doing exceptionally well. But the random average person will be like, oh, she's selling Nasha okay. What's the big deal in selling Nasha okay? I would like to tell you the big deal about selling Nasha okay. If, for instance, I find myself, right, talking to a stakeholder. A stakeholder is someone you are speaking with. There are different types of stakeholder. A customer is a stakeholder. A white person is a stakeholder. Of course, I'll not tell her that I'm selling a show. Okay. I'll tell her that, oh, my name is Bisola. I'm in the sustainable fashion industry. And she'll be like, oh, interesting. So what's that about, right? And you'll be like, oh, what we do is we try to reduce the waste in the fashion industry. We understand fast fashion industry, fast fashion is a major problem in the industry. It has caused major pollution. And I begin to talk about the numbers, right? Paint it in our head about the numbers of waste fast fashion has caused, because I'm sure you all know what fast fashion means. Fast fashion means that every woman just buys a clothes. There's a party, for instance, you just buy the clothes, keep it. There's a party, you keep it. There's a function in your school, you buy, you keep it, and your house is just full of unnecessary clothes, and before you know it, it has turned to a waste. So you now begin to talk about how Ashoke is a sustainable fashion, right? And how it's slow fashion and how it lasts across generation, right? And then she'd be like, oh wow, that's interesting. I'm interested. You're just talking about the impact of what you do. And then you'd be like, oh, so how do you do this? So my business model was simple. I have all of these weavers. I work directly with the weavers. So let's forget that they are a terror. I don't miss them at all. Like I was in the fashion industry some years ago. I don't miss them because if you are not lying, they are just giving you issues. Working with local artisans is like you are just setting yourself up for disaster. So what I did was that I'll be like, oh, so I connect these local weavers, to customers all around. I connect these local weavers to customers all around the world through technology. Of course, Instagram is a technology, right? It's a platform. Your website, I had a website, even though it was not useful because anybody that wants to buy Ashoke will not go to the website to buy Ashoke. They will come to Instagram. But it's important you have that website, right? So I connect them through my website or through a platform. And guess what? These local weavers earn less than $1 a day. That would, increase the interest of the stakeholder you're speaking with. Like, oh wow, so how do you now ensure you like, so working with them means that I get to share their talents all around the world. Even if one customer buys your clothes in Italy, for instance, you'll be like, oh, so we have customers in Italy, we have customers in Germany, we have customers in Brazil. You just keep talking about your brand, and you'll be like, oh, that's interesting. And because of that, we've been able to increase their income. We've been able to increase their income, from $1 a day to, let's say, $20 a day. And as a result, they've been able to send their kids to school. And you're like, oh wow, that's fantastic. With that kind of pitch, they would want to give you that visa, right? Please comment in the comment section. You could just tell me what you think about the pitch. So what I've realized is that because we are so into our business, we fail to realize the importance of the work we do. Because you are the one sewing, because you are the one going to the market, you just tend to forget the value that you provide. So when opportunities like the global talent comes up, you are like, so how do I apply? I'm not valuable. I'm not a global talent. Like you've already given up on yourself. So I'll be sharing my screen as to how I positioned myself. I would not dwell on it too much because I would not want you to screenshot. Please do not screenshot. So the first thing I did was I went to the Global Talent Visa to see the requirements. This is not what you will be using, right? So for us, we use there's the mandatory criteria, right? And there's the optional criteria. So for the mandatory criteria, they wanted to know that you led the marketing or business development at a product-led digitech company. I used my actual okay business as a digital tech com- tech company, right? And I talked about how I was the business developer. You understand? You would see. You can go to my Instagram page. This omoaduke dot underscore official, right? And then I just spoke about the work. Number two, you led the growth of non-profit organization or social enterprise. Omoaduke is a, no, a social non is a social enterprise because what we do is we impact the life of the student. If you want to know social enterprise, go to the Google SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, and see how you fit into it. You have evidence of speaking at high profile digital technology. I did this through my other brand, right? So what you can do is amongst your friends, right? Maybe you stay in Abeokuta, for instance, organize fashion something something Abeokuta, for instance, package it, do design a webinar, design an image, talk about what you've done, how many people that attended, because they want to know the impact of what you did, right? If there's an award, talk about it. If there's no award, nominate yourself, tell your friends to nominate you, publish materials. For instance, I used to write articles on Bella Niger and it was free. You can do that. Talk about the wedding industry in Nigeria. There's so much to talk about. Talk about working with local artisans. There are so many things you can talk about. Optional criteria. These were some optional criteria. So I'm not going to dwell on this. This is my document. It's in my Google Docs. I want to believe that we all have Google Docs. If you do not know how to use it, go to your Google. Your Google. There's on the there's a hamburger there. Click on it and start tabulating it. You just never know how far you've gone. Also, you talk about your finances. So I'll be sharing. I don't know if I can share the requirements for the fashion, global hearts fashion, but I'll be bringing in. But I hope you understand how I positioned myself, because this business. I shut down this business some 3 years ago. I This is my first time of using shutdown, because we are all tied to our fashion businesses, one way or the other. There's just something about that business that does not that we all fail to we all try to hold on to, right? But I've not been able to work in that business, but I was able to leverage it. I was able to. So while doing that, some of the pictures I used were pictures with my weavers. So if you have local tailors, for instance, take pictures with them, put it on your page, let people know that this is what you do. Forget Instagram aesthetics, forget that you want your page to be beautiful. You see that page where you are talking to your tailor, you are improving the life of your tailor, talking about this is Moshood, my tailor. I hired him 5 years ago. Moshood has been loyal to us, and Moshood has. Those stories are what sets you apart. So I'll be bringing in my friend Tolu. Tolu is the founder of Blingshiki, and I am actually in awe of her, because what I did was just simply share the link with her, and the next thing she was like, "Oh, she has gathered all her documents." I was like, "Okay," and then I did like documents with her, right? And then the next thing she was like, "Oh, she has been endorsed." She shared, of course, there were some waiting moments, and then before I knew it, she got her visa, and before I knew it, she's already in UK. So I'll be bringing on Tolu. Tolu is going to speak about her experience. We are going to share the link with you, so you can see how you can navigate this issue. So thank you, Tolu, for honoring her invitation. You can take the floor. Please, let's give a round of applause for Tolu. Let's clap, 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 clap. I can't see your comments in the chat section. I can't see your clap in the comment section.
No clap, no talk. Good evening.
Clap, 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 clap. We can decide. We could have just decided because it's 9 p.m. and I need this information. Rija. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Hello, good evening. Sorry, I'm going to have a bit of distraction. So my kids are still awake. Thank you for the claps and thank you for welcoming me. My name is Tolu. I'm the founder of Blingshiki. Hello.
Hi.
Blingshiki this is a clothing brand, for those who don't know, that we substance embroidery rhinestone with rhinestone and embellishment. So inside traditional embroidery or ishell, we put stones, and so that was how we gained entry into the market, and that's how Blingshiki started. So there I was one day just gisting with Adebisi on the phone over other matters. And she goes, "Oh, wait a moment. I just even want a UK thing and I don't want to go." I'm like, "Huh? You don't want to go to the UK? Okay, what is this thing?" She said, "Oh, by the way, I think you might be able to attend apply as well." I'm like, "Send me the link." And she sent me this link. I looked through and I'm like, "Can I really do this?" And then I slept over it, and somehow, I started to put together all the evidences, and I realized that I could actually have a successful application. And within 2 weeks of her telling me, I had already applied. After like, I think 8 weeks, I got my endorsement. And after 2 days, I was able to have my document that says I can now move to the UK. So the whole process took me around less than 3 months to move to the UK. Excuse me? No, sure. Can I go on?
Yes, please go on.
Okay, so I got distracted over there. How do I start at the BC to tell them what the requirements were?
I think we can start by sharing the link in the chat. So I think we can start by sharing the link in the chat. So that's what I'm going to do.
Sorry. I do what's in the chat, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to share the link in the chats. Or if you have it, you could just share it. One minute, please.
Are you waiting for me? Okay.
Okay, someone has shared it. All right, so I will share my screen so we can all see the link, the web page. All right, can you all see the screen? This is global
Yes.
talent. Global talent is different from, okay, is it the same thing? Is it the same thing I have? Because it looks different. Global talent, arts and culture. Okay, I found it. So yours is arts and culture. Mine was digital technology. So I'll be clicking on arts and culture. All right, so yeah, we are here. Actually,
Okay,
so we could all talk and speak regarding this. So that's the beauty. You can be an employee. So what happens is that you can set up your fashion business and then also work. So which was why we had lots of people taking our tech courses, right? So they could also work while running their fashion businesses, until they were able to stabilize. You could change or stop doing your job without telling the home office. This is amazing, and it's freedom, right? Because you need to know what people on tier 2 visa and people who are not even on tier 2 visa are experiencing. A lot of people are some of them are tied to care jobs they cannot leave because of the type of visa they were able to get. You could bring your partner and children with you as your dependents, travel abroad and return to UK. You understand? So Tolu, you could take over from here.
okay, okay, please, if I don't know if has looked at the requirements, But the first thing I would like to say is don't let it overwhelm you. Don't think, oh, there is one thing that seems too big for me to, or this is only for the big designers. I don't think it is. I think you can have enough time to prepare you for the to meet the requirements. For example, um, which is fashion. There are four evidences that you required to produce, two of which is um
Hi Tolu, are you there? I think our network is bad. Okay, so while we wait for her, I'd like us to go over this eligibility. You need to have been working regularly in your field for the last 5 years. So if you are applying as a leader, you must be producing work that is sold or exhibited internationally on catwalk exhibition. Right. So this is one way to achieve this. If for instance you've gone to maybe GT Bank Fashion Week, for instance, this is a proof that you can do it. And of course, if it's also in your local industry, you can produce it. And if you've not done anything like this, I believe that you and your group of friends can organize it. Like the way I used to view things in the when I started in the fashion industry, I used to look at some things as unachievable. But right now, nothing is a big deal to me any longer. If I want to do something like this, all I need to do is I reach out to 5 of my friends or 10 of my friends. If, for instance, we live in Lekki, for instance, I'll be like, oh, Lekki exhibition show. We'll invite our friends. You understand? Come and see what you've done. And then we'll take pictures and we send it to blogs, pay them. And we have this evidence. You understand? And it's just remember that it's just two evidences. Number two, it is well known in at least 2 countries. I believe that your invoice or your customer base can produce this, especially when you are speaking about reviews and then they are telling you that, oh, this is my friend from Brazil who bought this stuff. You can use this as a proof. Then it's sold or exhibited internationally. So for instance, there's for instance, if there's a fashion show in Accra, for instance, I'm not saying because right now we've addressed like three and we only need two evidences. You know that you don't have to necessarily go to Accra. You can look for a contact in Accra and send your clothes to them while you send your pictures. And of course, like I always say, I always emphasize on PR. PR is very, very important. Send it to them and tell us how your fashion brand was at Accra, for instance. Then recognized by leading figures in the fashion industry. This is a review. It could be a popular, person wearing your clothes. That's enough evidence. Then documents you must provide. You must provide 3 letters of recommendation that you need to send in with your application. So this is where the work is, right? This is where it work is. It requires you understanding how you want to position yourself. Do you do wedding designs? Do you do corporate wear? What type of fashion designer are you? You now need to begin to think about how to position yourself in that space and then talk about the recommendation. So what happens is that a lot of people assign this role to the person who is recommending them, and then wait for them to write it. It does not work that way. What you have to do is write it and send it to the person to sign. That's how it's usually done. Even in academics, for instance, you want to get a scholarship and you are waiting for that professor to write your recommendation letter. They won't write it. Nobody has that time. So what I usually advise is write it. But if you feel that you can't do this, send us an email. We can help you. We can help you to position yourself. This is where the main work is. And then up to 10 pieces of evidence showing your exceptional talent or promise. Each must be two slides of A4 paper or less from the last 5 years. So all of these documents, provide it on an A4 paper, because you have to screenshot it and put it on your Microsoft Word, so that when you're uploading it all at once. So letter of recommendation, if you wish to write your letter of recommendation yourself, you must write about your global talent. That you cannot use a letter that was written for another reason. Be signed by a senior member of the organization. Say how the person knows you. So, for instance, one of my recommenders wrote about how they knew me, how they were my colleague in the fashion industry, how they knew me to be so, 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 and so. Remember, you are the one writing it, but of course, you have to make it personal. How we worked, maybe how we were colleagues, or how he was my customer, or how I supplied. Maybe you sent like 10 clothes to someone in America, for instance. Let the person talk about how you sent 10 clothes, 10 of your 10 pieces to your clothes, and how the person sold it, or 20 pieces or 100 pieces. Show your achievements in the field. The person has to talk about your achievement. So by the time you start, I believe that we all know how to use Chat GPT, right? Maybe you can just put in this prompt into Chat GPT, for instance. One or two things can, come up, right? And then the letter must also be typed, come with author CV, proof of credentials that the endorsing body would accept. At the end of the day, you need to put in the person's telephone number, email address, organization logo. That's like the person's letterhead and sign. So you need to show evidence of at least two of the following. Two. So which ones are we going to show? Are we going to show international media recognition, shows, or distribution and sales? So for your distribution and sales, I would use our financials. For instance, I want to believe that all our businesses are, are registered, right? So what you need to do is go to your finance. Maybe if you use Stami, for instance, download it and add it as an evidence. If
Sorry,
you
excuse
do
me.
it,
Just to shed more light.
okay, are you back? You can
Yes,
take
I've.
over.
Oh,
You can
okay.
take over, please.
Can you scroll down to the end of the page? I want to just scroll down to the end of the page. I'll tell you when to stop.
I'm at the end of the page.
No, go up a little bit. Hold on. Because there are two. Yeah, there are two categories. There is applying as an exceptional talent, and there is applying as a promising talent. The one where you have exceptional talent, which is one that gives you 3 years um PR. That's the one that has all this international proof that they are asking for. The one that is promising talent has more of local proofs. So I just wanted to I don't know if anyone doesn't understand what I'm saying, just type it in the comment section. But it's just for us to be clear that we don't really need so much international recognition to apply as a promising talent. Now, for the where it says here international media recognition, what I used as thank you, I can read your comment. Because Zoom is not very interactive, I feel a little bit off. So I just need some interaction, some communication from the comment section to know that, I'm not talking to myself. Yes. Now, For the media recognition, for example, I had an interview with Fashion Insider with Indani TV. So that was the one that I used. So I just put the link on on the application, and I talked about the interview I had. So when I was doing the interview, I didn't know that this day would come where I'd actually have to refer to the interview for something as big. Yes, you can use newspapers like The Sun. I also had a few like that. But I just used the one that was weightier because Indani TV is an online platform. I thought it could also be seen as an international platform. And also because that particular interview for me, yes, it can be an article, it can be a newspaper publication, it could be a TV interview, it could be whatever. It's just for them, it was just this particular, for the media recognition, it was just an interview. I told them, at the interview, I discussed what my brand stood for, how I was expanding, what I hope to do in a couple of years. So it just really, and also the person interviewing me, talked about, I'm going to come to those questions. Let me just deal with this media recognition first. The person interviewing me had also talked about, how my brand was being accepted in Nigeria and overseas, so she pretty much affirmed that my brand was, gaining a lot of traction. A lot of people were curious about the brand, which is, for example, the reason why she approached me for an interview to know more about me. I believe that the endorsement team, your endorsing body only wants to see with the media recognition that, oh, you are a brand that is interesting enough for people to want to know more about you. And that is why they've asked for media recognition. So how can you work backwards? Let's say, for example, today you don't have one. Start to build your evidences. International media recognition, an online platform is international. In interpreting that statement, now we live in a global world. So very, very well said. Your Sun interview, for example, will be online, and anything that is on the internet becomes an international document. So as far as you're able to, create that impression too, you need to also sound like you know what you're saying. It's not until, for example, you are interviewed by the Vogue. Yes, somebody who runs like a fashion school would apply, but you need to just be able to affirm that, okay, your school or your organization um has been able to help another brand to get to that level. So for example, let's say your school supports my business and my business already has all these things. You just need to be able to tie what you do as a contributing factor to the growth of a
Maybe
brand.
to watch something else. You have watched this now. Don't waste TV time now. This is our last day for whatever.
Okay, so the media recognition, I don't know if that was clear enough. Support or sponsorship. So I didn't have any sponsorship within the last 5 years because they also ask you that whatever evidences you're presenting must be within the last 5 years. But what I did was I still told them that even though I have a grant that I'm also a beneficiary of the WIN initiative by the Goodluck Jonathan Ministry of Finance. So I put that even though, it's been over 5 years since I won a grant from the Ministry of Finance of Nigeria, I just thought that I could present this as well to show that I'm an investable person or an investable individual. And I also had a sponsorship from Goldman Sachs to study entrepreneur management. So I'd also put in there that, oh yeah, I've won a grant, I've won scholarships, that have also been very vital, pivotal to the growth of my business. So let's say, for example, what you have does not even tell you what the request is. You can be able to present it to the way that if you were the one reading the application, you would like the person you are reading about. Or my grant was over 5 years ago, but I believe that also the COVID meltdown also slowed down some of my growth processes or some of my achievements. And however, I'm an investable person because so and so happened to me before. I have used my platform to get other bodies to invest in me, and this is what I've done with the money. For example, I said, yes, if you're already in the UK, you can switch to this type of visa. I'm still going to answer the question. I just want to run through my own application and to make it sound as simple and for you to be able to apply it to your own situation. Because that's the point. You might be looking like, oh, you're not a Maya Tafo. How can you be a global talent? How can you be endorsed as a global talent? You're not a Tokyo James. How can you? But I just want you to know that we are all superstars in our own spaces. You just need to believe in yourself and to be able to project yourself as what you know that you are. I have heard of a lady who worked for another fashion designer in Nigeria. She used that as a platform to also get a global talent visa. For all these big wigs in the industry, they have people who have contributed to their own growth. Because I'm sure Maya Tapo does not sit down behind the sewing machine to sew. I have staff in Nigeria as well who do more work in terms of production than me. They are eligible as well because so the global talent or the Home Office has put into consideration the fact that it's not only the designer or the leading person in the organization that should be getting this. You are a talent if you work for example, Blingshiki. You work for me, you know how we do all the stoning, you are a designer in my business. You can prove to them that you worked for this organization. In fact, you are the one responsible for most of the work. Madam only calls all the Madam work is not really Sorry, did you hear me? No, I'm sorry. I was saying that, okay. I was saying that whether or not you are the lead designer of the company, for example, my company is Blingshiki. I have some staff that are very, very important in my organization. The staff that arranges rhinestones, the staff that applies rhinestones. It can also benefit from this program. How? All he needs to do is to prove to the endorsing body that he is very significant in the organization. That in fact, the clothes that we produce, he's the one that does it. Even when we're producing for example, Acorn, he was the one that did the design. So it doesn't have to be like you are the one that got the job, that did that, that clothed a celebrity. You contributed to clothing the celebrity. That also counts. So I'm just trying to identify that even a tailor, a pattern cutter in a fashion design business is also eligible for this category. Yes, you need your employer's recommendation, yes. So you have to be a great staff. Your employer must also be interested in assisting you to benefit from this program. Your employer must believe that, yes, you deserve this upskill or this transitioning in your career. So you must be able to understand how to present your application. um sorry, Mr. Adebis, can you please share your okay, industry recognition. Industry recognition is who knows you in industry. For example, I've uploaded a lot of celebrities. So I just what I did was I used Daria Salade because he wears my brand a lot. Apart from he wearing my, he also sometimes comments on my post. So I just did screenshots of Daria Salade's comment on one of my posts. Excuse me, please, my kid. So I just posted I just uploaded a photo of Daria Salade's comment on my page. Some of his album covers of him wearing my clothes. I didn't even need Daria to confirm that I could use it because it's evident that I have that. Oh yes, he knows my brand. I worked with Akon before, but I didn't even put all that. I only put one because that's only one evidence, one example. I had files, I had AY, I had a lot. It's just for one person. Industry that's post something or tag you or comment on your own page on Instagram. So at least you know they know that they know you. Who knows? For my recommendation letter, international platform that you have entered your clothes on the wrong way or an exhibition you have attended. So that could also be who knows you in the industry. Oh, these people know me. I have yes, grants can be used as support and sponsorship. But really and truly, when you say support and sponsorship, I believe that they want you to give them something related to fashion and internationally recognized. But like I said, it's how you present it. So I don't know the kind of grant that you have used, but I used that. But remember that there are only two. A fellow designer can give you. You have three. I'm going to answer the questions. Let me just go through the requirements first. So we've talked about media recognition. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted by my kids in the background. I was hoping they'll be asleep by now, but no, they're not. Media recognition is your interview by a publishing house, a TV host, or a YouTube channel. Industry recognition, remember, is who knows you in the industry. One day, it will be another artist or another celebrity that has done your brand. You know, also a platform that has talked about you and people are asking about you. Can you please mute your mic, Olukemi Oludari, please? Can somebody please mute Olukemi Oludari's mic so that I can just go through this quickly? Excuse me. The other two are proof of sales. Proof of sales, I used my my website's online sales. I just because they only want one evidence. I couldn't use my bank statements. So I just exported or downloaded my my website sales within I just used the period of time, say 2 years, 3 years. And I said within so and so and so and so time, this is the amount of sales that we have made. Because my online sales also shows what location I showed. I used that also because it was strategic. Because it also shows my customers' information. Those that I sold to in America, in Spain, in Morocco, you know, it also shows the customer's location, how much they spent. So I that was why I used that. I could have used any other thing, but I was strategic. Because remember that I said that when you're applying, you must think like you are the one who is going to endorse you. So you must be able to, impress the person at every opportunity you have. So that's why I was able to. Think like you're the person who is going to endorse you. So they put that you are a big deal. The person wants to see that, oh, the person does not need too much story, just to see one thing. Brand must be great. The final evidence. What are the four evidences again? Because Adebisi has stopped sharing her screen, so I can't. I know there is media, there is industry, awards and sponsorship, and then there is sales. So we've talked about all four evidences. Sales to luxury clients is also sales. So in my sales, I had all of that, but I didn't even, because they only asked for one evidence. And so they put sales. So I just put my own, yes, the network is a bit unstable. So I just put my sales, um my sales history for that period. So that just really showed who I was selling to. If I was selling to files, it would show on my Excel sheet. But I didn't have to identify that, oh, I'm selling to, for example, Saks Fifth Avenue. I didn't have to. Invoice is proof of sales, but you can use invoice, you can use PayPal account, you can use PayPal, you can use anything. But just always remember that you don't want the person who is marking your, who is going to endorse you, to be confused. You want him to understand what you are sending. So I don't know what your invoice entails. Is it one invoice or many invoices? Because the person wants to see sales, proof that you sell. So I don't know if one invoice would show that information that they're looking to see. I don't know. So I'm just going to try and... Adebisi, can I go on and answer some questions from here?
Yes, please continue.
Okay. What are the examples? Can grants be used as... Grants can be used, but you need to be able to tell if is it a grant related to fashion, or do you have other evidence and it's just an additional evidence? Can a fellow designer give you industry recognition? That's the point, because if it's recommendation that if a fellow designer would be giving you, not industry recognition. Industry recognition would be celebrities that know you, catwalks that you've done, exhibitions that you have attended, and stuff like that. Aside from fashion industry, can you discuss with us how to navigate for other industries such as food industry? I'm sorry, I have to read this from the Home Office website to see. I know there are other visa categories like innovation and stuff like that. Okay, so sales to luxury entails industry recognition, entails in the fashion industry, who knows you? For example, they mean by industry recognition. We get clarity on what the bank statement, why the bank statement don't apply. I didn't say bank. I don't know how you are able to prove that you sold clothes and to who you sold to and what location. We use a bank statement, for example. Let's say I use my Access Bank statement. How would they know that I sell to people in America? How would they know other parts of the world? So like I said, you must be very strategic. It's not just about providing, it's about the person who is reading the information you're providing to be able to understand that this information actually is relevant application. So you might say, oh, you sold or you had income of, excuse me, no, excuse me, please. This application that you made, go and get it. That this application that you're doing, your bank statement or your whatever, does it show that you sold to a client in America or a client in India? It doesn't show. So you must be able to analyze the situation as though you were the one who would, read your application or assess your application. Can you use one invoice? I don't think one invoice would be sufficient. You could, but the person reading it to be happy with you. I don't think it's good in effort. A batch of sales from various invoices. That could work, but like I said, as far as the information you're providing can be viewed as authentic and can also give more information about who you are, how much you're selling and all of that. If you would say, what of people who haven't made clothes for celebrities? You can do runway shows. So African Fashion Week Brazil will be holding 2 weeks, for example. You need to just be aware of what's happening in the industry. How can you participate? If you've not clothed a celebrity before, you can attend fashion shows and catwalks, so that you can be prepared. Excuse me, please. I just need. Yeah, so you can prepare yourself. Then go and sit down. You can prepare yourself for exhibition, runways. It could be in Ghana, it could be in the UK. You don't have to go. You can partner with the organization. Okay, you will send your clothes. You can't come. If you're considering the financial cost of traveling. So you can just pretty much get yourself ready for the application. Give yourself enough time to prepare for it. Or look for a local catwalk, but it's usually better when you do your catwalk internationally. So because they want to see that you're serious and you've also made an effort by yourself to become globally recognized. So why would they give you a global talent visa or endorsement if they've seen that you have not even made an attempt by yourself to become globally recognized? So I think we should work towards presenting a character or a presence outside of our area of comfort, outside of Nigeria as well. For example, at the time I was applying, I already had a store in Brazil. I don't want to make it look too big. That's why I'm not mentioning some things that I had or I presented, But if without the store in Brazil, I believe I could have also, gotten it because I had international exhibition. I have stores in America and the UK that sell my brand. But I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. I don't want it to look, overwhelming to anyone. So I would not mention something. It's deliberate. But whatever information I give you, I can pretty much say that, you know, it will be sufficient for you to apply for those who are not that big in the industry. Can you use a personal account to run a business? Also, it doesn't matter if you use a personal account. It's just about you being able to prove your sales. Like I said earlier, if I partake in a fashion show here in the UK, can I use it as an industry recognition? Yes, you can. You can use the fashion show in the UK as an industry recognition. If I do an international fashion show, do I need a letter from organizers as proof of industry? No, you don't. You just need to show the letter. You just need to show the photo. You just need to show the photo of your runway, maybe one of your clips that shows the logo or whatever. You don't need to any letter from anyone that shows to say that you did a runway with them. Or they can even maybe it was an acknowledgement email they sent you after the show. So well, thank you for participating, you know.
Hi Tolu, are you there?
Are you trying to pull?
Hello, sorry, I think my internet went off, so I'm connected on my phone. I don't know why. But can we still hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, so I can't remember where I stopped. I was attending to the questions. But unfortunately, I can't see the history of the messages anymore. Because
I would, I would, I would call the questions for you. Okay, someone is asking, aside the recommendation letter, can we give three more evidences instead of two?
yeah, I gave 4 evidences, and also I gave actually in total I gave 10 evidences because they ask you to give up to 10 evidences. So apart from what they've asked you, I put in my story. I put in a personal statement. I put in my CV, because for example, my story, what did I put in my story? I told them about how I grew up as an art lover. How when I was a little girl, I used to love to draw flowers. I told them how I started writing poems in school. I told them how I used to design clothes for people. Excuse me, I'm coming. Yes, I had the teacher. I told them about, I'm coming. I'm coming. First. Teacher. I told them about how in university I used to design clothes for my school. I just pretty much talked about how I wanted to present a scenario that since I was a little girl, I've always been an arty person or a fashion lover, and I've kept on with that, so they know that it is in my blood. Then for my I also told them that, okay, so when I graduated from school, I chose the career path in fashion. And, I've also enjoyed or benefited from grants and scholarships in the past that have helped propel my business to the level that it is. And I also told them about how I registered my business in the UK years back, and I had to close it because I didn't really have the immigration status that was required. So I let them know that, I've been willing and actively trying to ensure that, this is my career in art, because what they want is for you to contribute to arts and culture in the UK. So everything I put to them, I wasn't just blabbering. I made sure that, I tied it to the application. Every word that I put in my application, I made sure that it was deliberate. It was towards them, the person, the reader, thinking that this person really, really is an arty person. This person really, really will become an asset to stop making noise to the UK's arts and culture. So that was my story. Then I did a personal statement. I made sure that I told them that I really wanted the endorsement. I told them why I wanted it, what I would contribute to the economy and all of that. So it was pretty much that. Then I also put evidences of my works, what I've done in the past, some of my designs and what inspired them. I put it there. I put all my skills, I'm a self-taught graphics artist. So I design a lot of my work. A lot of my rhinestone embellishments are done by graphics. So I put it there as well. My personal information, like I'm bilingual. I'm an English speaker. I speak English. I speak Portuguese. I speak French. I speak Yoruba. So I also marketed myself in my statement. Then I put my CV, all places that worked before, the impact I've made, all the other businesses I own. So apart from those 4 things that they've asked you for, you also have the opportunity to provide additional evidences, but must not be more than 10 evidences. So you can just decide to yourself, what are your strong points? What do people like about you? What do people think you're great in? Or what do you yourself even know that you are a master in? So it's those kind of things that they want to see. So you now present it to them and, narrate it to the Global Talent Endorsement. Go and read, when you read the article, the Global Talent Endorsement from the Home Office, try and understand the objective. Why did the UK or to the Home Office think about the Global Talent Endorsement as a replacement for the Tier 1 category visa? Understand the objective of the Home Office. That way you will have an idea of what the endorsing body is looking for. Once you understand, then you now look at yourself and say, okay, how do I fit into this objective? How can I present myself as worthy to fit perfectly to this endorsement? And that should be how your application should sound, So what are the next questions? Did you put your story in writing? Yes, I put it in writing. It was Sorry, I don't know. I think the internet of the hotel that we are is out. So that's why I'm using my phone. I'm supposed to share my screen with you and my application, but I'm unable to do so at the moment. But yeah, I put it in writing. I'm a very good writer as well, so I was able to present it in the simplest form. Our writing should not be too weighty with elaborate words. It should just be simple and nice and very sweet. That's how I like. Well, Adebisi has said that if you want them to help you write, Hills and Text will be able to help you write, and guide you on how to write. Because I know some people find it difficult to write. Me, I don't have a challenge with writing. So, it's not for me. I like writing, so that's it. If someone has a bidding company and an RTW company ready to recommend, can these work as evidences from both? Can they use work? Yes, you can, because it's still related to arts and fashion. Bidding and ready to wear work hand in hand. It's still one business. You can present it as one business. You need to learn how to position yourself. Does it matter if your business has been registered or not? No, I don't think it matters if your business has not been registered. Because nobody asked for a CSC certificate when I was throughout the application. There was nothing like that. But of course, they could tell. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not part of the evidence is required. They are interested in the individual. It's not even your company name they're interested in. And that is why your staff can apply. Somebody who has contributed to the growth of another business that is a superstar, like a staff of Maya Taco can apply. He's not mine now. He's not Maya Tafo, but his staff can apply because they contribute to day-to-day work in Maya Tafo. What if someone has been in industry for 3 to 4 years and not 5 years? No. You don't have to be in the industry for 5 years. The recommendation or the requirements only say that whatever evidences you are bringing must not be more than 5 years old. So you cannot go and bring a clothes you made for Fela and say that is an evidence. No, because it was not within the last 5 years. But the business that was registered last year, 2 years ago, as far as you meet all the requirements, you will be eligible to apply. Did the personal story add up to 10 pages of evidence? The personal statement is just one evidence. So it's just a document that you upload. So it's just one evidence. Every document you upload is considered an evidence. So that's what I mean. So they need you to, apart from the 4 that they've made mandatory, they require that you can also put up to 10. So like that means they are saying that you can put 6 additional evidences to prove that, you are really a superstar, like you are presenting yourself to be. Presently in the UK, can I partake in local fashion show? Yes. There's a girl that when I was also doing my application, that I was looking for people that had done this just to have an idea of what they had submitted before. There was a girl in the UK already. I think she was a student, and then she also applied. She did some UK fashion shows. She was also strategic to change her visa category. So yeah, you can even start your business now. If your visa expires, like for example, next year, start your business in the UK now, do local shows, exhibitions and stuff like that. Fella reference. Yeah, I just wanted to, be clear. Can I submit a portfolio of my designs as part of? Yes, I submitted a portfolio. Like I said, I submitted like a page. Actually 2. I did one for Blingshiki Nigeria, one for Blingshiki Brazil. Because I also made it clear that I changed the dynamics of my business for my Brazil store. So I put what I was doing in my Brazil store as one portfolio. I did what I was doing in my Nigerian store as another portfolio. So I think that's all the questions have been answered. So Adebisi, over to you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. I'm still here to answer any questions. Please, can you mute me from my end, because I don't really know how to use my phone at the moment for this. Yes, I can shed more light on the recommendation. I'm sorry. That is one thing I should have actually really elaborated on. Recommendation letters. are actually your application. Every other thing I've said, every other thing I've mentioned is cool. But your main application, the only way anyone will take you serious is your recommendation letter. The reason is this. Your recommendation letters are supposed to come from 3 experts in your industry. In my own case, I used African Fashion Week London. I used a designer called Tokyo James. And I also used a journalist in Brazil, who was the lady who did my Brazil business plan. She's a fashion journalist. So these 3 people are supposed to be experts. Tokyo James is a great designer. He's won some awards in fashion. He's UK based. And they also ask, that I think 1 or 2 of your recommenders should be UK based. So they want to also know that a UK designer is recommending you for the visa category. Now, you need to know that the recommendation letters are also, they also have guidelines to writing them. So, for example, it must show how the person how the person thinks you can contribute to life in the UK, how the person thinks you're going to, fit in, or you're going to start the business or run the business. So it's pretty much telling that person who is recommending you to market you as an investment for the UK arts and culture. So in short, the person is also going to do a business plan for you in a nutshell, because for me, I did the letters myself, obviously, and I had them read through to see that they were comfortable with it, to edit and also to sign. So you have to, for example, how will you contribute when you come to the UK? What are your plans of setting up in the UK, for example? What are your plans of setting up in the UK, for example? I put that, okay, I'll first do certain trainings. Apart from the trainings, I would maybe employ people from the UK. You need to just, be able to show that you really have a plan, or you're not coming to leech on the government system. And the good thing about the application as well is that it helps you to plan ahead. It helps you to think that, do I really want this? If I was given this blessing, what will I really do with it? Would I, so it helped when I was writing the thing, it was helping me to think, of, okay, how will I even succeed if I was given this thing? So like now I have an idea based on my recommendation letters, or what I was able to think through when I was writing on how to kick it on. Oh, I'm going to do some trade shows. There's some weekend markets that open for fashion where people go there to shop. I've already said, okay, I'm going to also go to those ones at the weekend. So you must be very, the process of doing the recommendation letter would help you to think a lot about, the possibility of you succeeding even when you come to the UK. So the recommendation, it doesn't have to be like a big UK, it doesn't have to be like a big UK brand, but UK designer, but it's always good when, the person recommending you is known, is also respectable in the industry. It just makes the application look really easy and breezy. It makes the person endorsing you to be more interested in your application, and not to be thinking, oh, I'm not sure, So it's not like they contact your recommenders, but at least they must be able to Google the recommender and know that, okay, this person is also a big deal. Do you have worked with it? Do you have to had worked with it? Well, there's no way somebody will recommend you without knowing your work. That's the truth. So for example, Tokyo James, I met him at, events, maybe GT Fashion Weekend, where he was exhibiting, and then I had a booth. And then we met, we exchanged pleasantries, exchanged numbers. And there are times maybe he will contact me, maybe he wants to see if my company can do certain things. And I'll say, oh, I'm not able to, or maybe I have questions, I need him to assist me, So, or maybe I meet one of people that worked for him, and then so somehow you would have worked with the person. African Fashion Week London, I've worked with them. I've done several events with them in Nigeria, in the UK, and even in Brazil. So you will have people that you've done working relation. There's no way you will put somebody that doesn't know your work. What is the person recommending me is also a benefactor of the Global Talent Visa. It doesn't matter whether the person is also a beneficiary of the initiative or not. The point is the person recommending you, the person himself in good standing, is the person himself appreciated in the industry, is the person, gets up, do people know the person? That's the kind of, it's almost like saying somebody that nobody knows wants to recommend you. What is the position? Is the person a professor in a school? Is he a professor in a fashion school? Or is the person a professor in a pattern cutting industry? Person must be somebody that also, is impactful in the industry that we are discussing. What if the UK-based recommender is not art and not fashion? It has to be an expert in the field, because the only basis for the recommendation is that this expert in this field thinks that you are fantastic and is saying that you are going to be an investment to arts and culture in the UK, because your primary objective is that you will not come here to become a liability. You are going to be an investment. They're trying to promote arts and culture. So that's the point. Can you personally tell us a few benefits of setting up in the UK? Yeah, setting up in the UK, number one, it values your brand more. I know the moment I put welcome Blingshiki London, I already know that my brand value would already exponentially grow. It already become, when I say welcome to Blingshiki Brazil, I know how the audience took it. I know how it was fantastic. Wow, she's now in Brazil. So imagine now saying I'm now in London. I haven't posted it here because I'm just thinking that the moment I post it, I'm going to blow and I'm not ready. I don't have my products yet here. I'm still trying to settle down to get my documentations sorted, so I cannot start work now. But I know that the moment that I put it up, it's just going to fire up your brand. Your income will grow astronomically. Another thing is that you start looking at you'd see business differently. You start looking at other income streams, because the UK environment and the visa in itself empowers you to want to do more. You want to maximize it. Your visa allows you to work unrestricted. Your visa allows you to have a business in the UK. Your visa allows your children to go to school for free. Your visa allows your husband, if you're married, to come to the UK and also work without any restrictions. So setting up in the UK is not just what you look at. It's a turnaround for your whole family. It changes your destiny. If you're focused, it's something that you're going to hold on to for life. And the good thing about the visa is also that after 5 years, you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. It's a path to settlement. So it's a tier 1 visa. It's a tier 1 visa. So it's one of those visas that it's like you're holding gold. Like even me, I didn't even know what I was holding until I, got in. I've been like, what do you have? I'm like, lady, you don't know what you have. With this, I start to think like, so really, like, is that much of a big deal? Yeah, so it's a visa that even a lot of people who are already in the UK want to have, so it's something that when you hold, you want to ensure that you make the best of it. You don't take it for granted. Your brand will blow, even your personal life, your interaction, your positioning, you're going to upskill, you're going to do IT, like Bisola said, Adebisi said in Health and Tech, they will encourage you to grow in terms of digital savvy. You know more about tech, you know how you can, work for other industries. So you're going to help yourself as a human being, your personal growth and then your business growth. So there's a visa that when you get it, you'll be like, Namibidis, like you just be shocked. For me, at first I was shocked that, okay, now I have it. For me, well, just let me even see if they will give me, and then I got it. I'm like, oh, really? So what am I going to do next? So I'm now overwhelmed. I have to immediately fly to the UK, immediately fly to see how I can settle down. And I still need to go back to Brazil for a fashion show that I'm going to have in a couple of weeks. So I'm now busy. And then on the other hand, Adibisi is calling me and say, we have to, encourage other people to do this. You cannot just hold this and keep it. You have to tell others about it. You have to give others the opportunity to know that they can also do it. So now I'm talking on a Zoom platform, educating people on the visa that I got without even knowing what I was getting. So that's already brand placement for me. I've already seen, even from this Zoom channel, I can see some people are already following me on Instagram. So my brand is already being marketed, and that's how it becomes to grow. So it's not just what to look at and say, okay, when I get to the UK, so what can I do? If you don't have money to set up your brand in the UK yet, you can get into the UK and work for other companies, work for a fashion brand, work in sales, work in IT. There are other things that you'd be like, oh, so I can even do that. You grow personally. When you make that money, you then start your own business. So there are a lot of things, or you start going for road shows. But the point is, you have the legal rights, the documentation required to set up your business in the UK. That's a big deal. A lot of people live in the UK. They don't have the opportunity to, but you do. So you can work, you can have your business. So it's like you're saying on a gold mine. You just need to decide how you want to refine this gold. So that's it. The international, does this mean, sorry, I'm trying to read the questions because they keep coming in. The requirements are tough, Sha. You had almost everything. No, the requirements are not tough. Yeah, I had everything. I didn't even think I wasn't doing it because I needed this endorsement. I was just working every day, and the opportunities came for me to grow, and I was using it. So now you have the information that is required. You can work backwards. You need 4 evidences. You need this, you need that.
Please let me step in about the
Okay.
requirement. Yeah, please give me 1 minute. So what
Yes, please.
about the person that said, "Oh, you had the requirements"? I remember 4 years ago, I wanted to apply for this technician global talent, and an immigration lawyer in UK told me I did not qualify. She specifically said it because she felt I did not build an application, or maybe all of this tech.
Please, can you mute me? Sorry.
Right. So, but guess what? I did it. I sat down after 4 years, and then I started compiling all the documents. A lot of people don't know me because I'm an introvert. So I worried about getting a recommender, somebody who is going to recommend me. But by the time I sat down to think about who and who and who, and all I needed to do was send a message, or send a message to somebody who knew these people who I wanted to leverage on. And then it worked. So a lot of times we always believe that we don't qualify, or we don't have these documents. It's not true. For the PR document, for instance, all you need to do is get a contact that works with Guardian newspaper, and for some fee, they will publish your article. But before you can do that, you need to understand how you want to position yourself. There are several micro blogs on Instagram who are happy to put up your posts on their blog for a stipend. So let's not think that it's over us. That's the thing about Nigerians. We always feel that we don't qualify, or we don't deserve it. We deserve it. If other countries are doing it, let us also do it. So that's my own 2 cents. Tolu, please, you can step in.
Please, can you unmute me? Okay. Okay, fine. So let me go back to, so it's not like she said, it's not it could seem like these requirements are hard. But like I said, the moment you are confident in your person, because you have to first believe in yourself before anybody else will believe in you. So work at meeting the requirements, and then that's all. No matter how long it takes, this visa, I think, is here to stay. it's for us, those of us who have already benefited from this, initiative, to ensure that we remain, promising, we remain talented, exceptional in our talent, so that we do not close this opportunity for the people that want to get in the future. I believe that if those of us who already have it in our hands, we do our best, I think that the UK will be happy to even open more doors and even, make it better for others to come. Because the point is, there must be a need for talent to be infused in the UK for them to have created this platform. So I believe that if you know that you are talented, if you believe in yourself, you should be working at ensuring that you meet the requirements. Do you move your brand completely, or you have different branches now, please? I have different branches now. So I have Nigeria, I have Brazil, and now I'm about to have the UK. So yeah, I'm expanding with my brand placement. You can use an interview which you did 2 years ago. You can, as far as it's still within 5 years from the time that you applied. Can one work outside fashion? Yes, you can work outside fashion part-time for this reason. You can definitely work outside fashion. You're not good to. Sorry, I don't know. There's somebody's mic on and it's interfering a lot. Somebody's mic is on. Can that person be muted? Thank you. So definitely you can work outside fashion when you get to the UK. Parallel to your business, you can have like if you want, you can do whatever you want to do. It allows you to work unrestricted, so it's your choice. The international media recognition says give at least 2 examples of the work appearing in reviews. Does this mean I cannot use an interview I had? Yeah, you can use the interviews. An interview is a review. Could be considered a review. Like I said, it's how you present your application. Some people will charge a leg and an arm for this information. I don't think it's really hard. You'd set a target for yourself, like a timeline and strategically plan, yeah. From the article, must we show your work? It's not compulsory, but it's always good for them to even know your brand. But trust me, you must be very deliberate or strategic as well, because your Instagram will show your work. So, and it's free information. So if I were your endorsing body, I would definitely go on your Instagram. I'll Google your name. I'll go on your LinkedIn. So yeah, I remember that when I applied, I remember that I saw like interesting visits on my website, because my website tells me where my website is being viewed from and what time the person checked. I also see some people looking at my LinkedIn, so I know that if I see something maybe from London, some particular place, location in London, I'll know that, oh, these guys are already checking me out. So they will go on your website, they will go on your LinkedIn profile, they'll go on your Instagram. So apart from what you're presenting to them, trust me, they will dig you out. They will check you very well. So you need to ensure that you remain sweet and, beautiful. Your profile remains, very encouraging on the internet. So when they see you, they know that, okay, yeah, what she said she is who she's actually socially identified to be, not the other person or not another person entirely. Just like you Google it, okay, Makinwa, you go to her Instagram, you see she's the one. You go to her LinkedIn, you see she's the one. You become more interested in her. So that's how it works. Is there hope for baby fashion designers? Of course, yes. There is hope for everyone. As far as you're talented, you can know that, there's opportunity for everyone. How many celebrities when your brand did you submit? Just one. Just one. I only use, because when I even submitted a number, I submitted a long application. Sorry, hold on. Just need to. When I submitted a long, like I put diary, I put Acon, I put files, they replied me saying that they only want one evidence. One. So I removed everything. I only put one person. So I now went and looked for diary in different forms, wearing my clothes. I just focused on just one human being as my industry recognition. So it was the only celebrity I used. Does it matter if newspapers, blogs was done few days or weeks before one finally submits the application? Well, it doesn't really, but I would like to say that we should be more creative by giving it some time, so that it doesn't look like you only cooked up your documents. Because apart from those evidences, like I said, they will look for you on the internet. So imagine if that's the only thing they can find about you on the internet. They will go as far as your Facebook, your LinkedIn, your Instagram. So be ready. Like when I say be ready, start being deliberate. Like me, I remember when I was waiting for my application, my endorsement, all my posts on my Instagram, I was now deliberate or to say, we're a global brand, we're a globally recognized brand. We're doing this for African art. I started being deliberate. I was now wishing that I'd always sounded like that, marketing myself as an African designer who has a passion for keeping the stamps of African inspired fashion on the map of the world, creating contemporary art. I was now wishing that that's how I've always sounded. But it helps you to become more deliberate in your profile. So that's why when you see a lot of people doing a lot of interviews, I see Benga Art Smith doing a lot of that. He's always talking about himself, his brand, his art itself. And I when I look at it, I just laugh that I hope he knows that whatever he's doing, he's actually creating those stamps on the map of the internet. Because the day the people who need to dig you out, the day people need to understand you better, those are the things they look for. Today's newspaper is not just enough to know you. It's about what you've been doing, your history on the internet. They are going to call you out. They're going to check you out to see if you're really like great. So, and I also know that over time you'll become tougher and tougher and tougher. Not like they'll probably raise the bar because when they see that a lot of people are coming in and getting it, they will want more and more. So it's always best, even if I've said mine today, make your application better than mine. If you the lady who's into the lady on the YouTube, there's only one lady I saw who benefited from this program and did a YouTube video some time ago. Whatever she put then might not be what was being accepted when I put my own in. So I've made my own application even more stronger. So I expect that now that you have this information, you should make your own application even stronger than mine.
Yeah,
And
yeah, right, Lulu. I'd like to step in. I
okay.
remember when I was putting up my application. I don't know if somebody asked if social media is accepted. Yes, it's accepted. So when I was running my Ashoki brand, I remember I took a picture with one of my weavers, one of my local weavers. We were just gisting, and he told me that he was a migrant from Ghana. And I was saying, I was like surprised. He said yes, that he moved from Ghana. He and his family moved from Ghana. So they weave the Ashoke here in Ghana. I did a video. If I didn't know the essence of the video, I just spoke about how my fashion brand was impacting the migrant community, how they are able to find, meaningful life here in Nigeria. And what I did was, while speaking about myself, I copied the Instagram link, then I attached it. So whomever was, reading it would click on it, which was why I'm saying that Instagram can be aesthetically beautiful. Let's forget that, we are making your Insta. We all want our Instagram grid to look beautiful. It's also important that we are deliberate and strategic, just like Tolu said. So yes, talk about your workers and use it as proof. You don't necessarily need to create a LinkedIn profile, but if you feel that tonight you need to do it, then do it. Do it. What you need to do is create LinkedIn profile. Go to Chat GPT and tell ChatGPT to help you write a profile, or that you the prompt will be, I've been a fashion designer for 5 years with background in so. Help me come up with a profile and then build it from there. But it's not important, but it makes your application rich. It makes your application rich. So if you join in the beginning, I'm like, please step out of your business for once. Stop sewing. Stop it. Look at your business from a global perspective. You'll be surprised that those outside the countries, maybe in Australia, for instance, they are sewing in one tiny room just like you, and they are getting it because they are confident of their skill. So, yes, every information, everything you do is very, very, very important. All you need to do right now after this session, think about how you want to position yourself and begin to write. So, Tolu, please, you can step in. Thank you.
Okay. What if the interview does not display our work but tells about it? Yeah, the interview will talk about you. If you're being interviewed, I remember when they used to chase me around for interviews. I used to like, why are they disturbing me? Who wants their fame? I used to shy away from a lot of interviews, not knowing that they were preparing me for the future. So if you are interviewed, please make sure that you say what they didn't ask you and what they asked you. That's why you'll see some people, they'll ask them A, they'll start talking about B, because they already know the importance of interviews. So if they ask you, for example, what is the cause or the objective behind your business, please make sure that anything you want the world to know at that point in time, you present it. So don't take your opportunities with a pinch of salt. Take them seriously
Don't
all
be
the time.
humble. Don't be humble at all.
Don't be
Don't be
humble.
humble.
Make yourself a big deal. I don't know. I suffer from that a lot because I don't really like a lot of people talking. I don't really like a lot of attention on me, and I'm just like that. I could be shy. But I could have been. I thank God I got the event in the endorsement, but I imagine that if I'd been more deliberate in some interviews, I would have been more confident as well along the line. So please let your interviews display your work. Don't just
And
let
yes,
it go.
and let me bust your bubble. I don't know if you know about the United States EA visa,
Yeah.
EB1 visa. You'll be surprised that a lot of people, after people got this Technician UK visa, they applied to the United States green card from Nigeria with this same information.
Yeah.
Although the US is more expensive, getting that green card is more expensive. It's sometimes, I think, $13,000.
Dollar.
I mean, I would pay that compared to, going to school and paying school fees and then waiting for H1B visa. After H1B visa, I'm praying that they give me, the employment visa. But once you take your time to build your profile, you can use it to apply for any opportunity in the world. You'll be surprised. So this week, let's step away from our business. If I'm sure my friends on this meeting, on this webinar, they know that I'm always talking about it. Step away from your business. Stop sewing. Stop teaching. Stop whatever it is you are doing. Let somebody take over. Let somebody take charge of your business and tell you who you are. You'll be surprised that you are a big deal. You are a big deal. A lot of times we suffer from imposter syndrome. We feel that we've not done enough. You've done much more than enough. Nigerians are very hardworking. When it comes to work, we can do it. So please make noise. Post all your articles in 10 newspaper. Let's not rest. As we are looking at you on my left hand, I want to see you. Right side, I want to see you. Like, I want to see you in every corner. You just never know. You never know what's going to, happen and where, putting up this application is going to take you to. Thank you.
I remember when I went to Style Acon in Los Angeles. I was on the same what do they call those things? Cabin with Unsen, Umpetin, what's this guy's name again? Oh my god. Some big Hollywood stars, and I was with Akon, and I was, working with these people. And I remember I was told, Tolu, post everything. I was like, well, I'm not posting. People didn't even know I was with Akon. I mean, I was, working, I was in the cold, out there. People didn't know. And, when I now, wanted to apply, I was now thinking, and I wish I made more. Even the selfie I took with Akon and the video, it was just, let's not be as if I didn't take it.
Some people
So,
will put it on Bella Nigeria and say, meet the African fashion designer styling icon. You understand?
so thank God I had other opportunities to still showcase my work and my talent. And, that I was able to imagine if I'd used Akon one time, imagine how it would have been. So let's make use of our opportunities. I'm looking at applying by June because my student visa is expiring by January. My issue is getting the industry recognition because I'm not in Nigeria at the moment. So you can contact bloggers in the UK. You can get it. You can contact bloggers in the UK. You don't have to be waiting for Nigeria. You're in the UK, the fashion. Look for one or two fashion shows. Follow British Fashion Council because they are the fashion endorsing body. Look for one or two people and get them to interview you. Do great work. You don't have to be looking for anybody in Nigeria. Or you can even also contact people in Nigeria that, newspapers. I know a few people that have contacted me for interview that can share their information, so if they want to, carry your profile on their maybe inspiring business women of the week, those kind of things. Once they see your profile, they'll see if they're interested, or they would also even offer you opportunities on how, they can help you to market your profile or to, help you with anything you require. So it's not a big deal. There's no issue. You just need to be strategic, know people, network. You've said it now. I have the resource that you need. So we can help you with that. I thought they said they don't accept social media as proof. No, it's not a proof, but they will go to your social media. They don't want you to bring it because they know what they are looking for. They will be the ones to do the investigation on your social media, but they don't want you to bring it as evidence. Okay? They don't want you, but you, as you're applying, know in your mind that whoever wants to read your profile or read your application will definitely go to your social media to dig you out, to know you more and everything. Because they went on my own social media. Me, that I don't go on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile was done maybe 2012 by somebody I don't even remember. He just said, why don't you have a LinkedIn profile? And did it. They went on my LinkedIn to check if it matches my CV. I know they did because I got a notification and I saw the person's profile and I could tell that the person worked for the British Fashion Council or some party organization of some sort. You are right. We're getting tough. There isn't much information about you on YouTube. It doesn't give free information. Well, it's up to her. Maybe a little people, because I remember I saw her interview on YouTube as well, and I took 1 or 2 pointers from there. And trust me, whatever information she gives you, if you are directed at, if she wanted, maybe you were asking for a bespoke. Excuse me, please, can you stop me? If you're asking for a bespoke service, maybe you wanted her to help you with some personal, information on your application. Maybe that's why she's charging you, maybe she just does that because too many people are contacting her and she thinks she can monetize it. So we cannot blame her. She can choose to monetize. She's the one that knows what she's doing in the UK or how she needs money. So, but I can assist to the extent that I can. It's an opportunity that I took advantage of, and I would be very happy to assist other people who are willing to, to make a brand or to make a name for themselves. There isn't much information about it, because on YouTube you'll see more of Tech Nation, but you won't see more of fashion, which is why Heels and Tech is also doing this so that they can assist people. Is Bella Nigeria a good example of media recognition? Yes, Bella Nigeria is. Please, can you share it? I don't know what you want me to share, but I didn't get the last
about Bella Nigeria. Talk about if you want to use Bella Naija, talk about it being the topmost brand blog in Africa with viewers, with maybe 1 million viewers per week. And then they spoke about you, try to make it a big deal. You understand? I think we've come to the end of this session. This is almost what 2 hours already. My baby's yeah. Yeah, thank you. So if you found the session useful, please I would like to hear from you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tolu, for honoring our invitation. I know it's
My pleasure.
difficult, but this is useful information. This is useful information, and I would implore that we take advantage of it. We take advantage of it. Like I said, we don't necessarily have to relocate immediately, but just take it. Even the announcement alone. I know how it improved the brand of the tech bros and girls. Even though I did not announce my own, I know that when I announce it, people are going to congratulate me and make me feel like a celeb that I am. So this is what I want to. This is the feeling I want for you, for your brand. Imagine charging pounds, for just a simple skirt. You just never know where it's going to take you to. So I would implore you, if you are a student in the UK, please take advantage of it, because students in the UK took advantage of Tech Nation. So they moved from their student visa tier to tier one. I have friends like that, and they're not working at the moment. They're just upskilling and taking their time. Imagine if they were stuck with a care job. So, like I said, if you would like us to write your recommendation letter, please send an email to info@usandtech.com. If you would want us to take over your projects, right, from start to end, then also reach out to us at info@usandtech.com. So this brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you everyone for staying till 10:47. That's about 1 hour 47 minutes. We appreciate you. Tell your friends about this opportunity. Send us a message on WhatsApp, via email. We are going to send a discovery email to you. And shout out to Tolu. It's honestly not easy with toddlers. So I really appreciate her for coming on board. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so this brings us to the end of today's session. This brings us to the end of today's session. Yeah, we appreciate you.